Speaking of entering live, here came Roman Reigns, who hadn't been around very much lately, and came with Paul and Solo and Jimmy Uso. And this, I got to be honest with you, they look wonderful. Well, all except for Paul. He looks like death warmed over, but he's such a fucking great talent.
Will you stop it? Why do you have to always make fun of his looks?
Well, but it's there. They're there. My God, the state of him. He walked past a cemetery last week. 3 guys ran after him with shovels. And then he went in the mall, and the first person that saw him says, "My God, does your Undertaker know you got up today?"
All right, well,
but
he's doing his best. Everyone loves somebody, and somebody must love him.
He looks better than Dean Martin. You've got that. Yeah, I'll give you that. But from the start of the entrance on television to the first word that Roman Reigns spoke was almost 5 minutes. But again, Roman speaks and he's so good. He's condescending. He's arrogant. He's articulate at the same time. He has the inflection. And he starts building up the deal that tonight is all about the one man who's bent over backwards, who's sacrificed for the bloodline. The man who will be next in line, the tribal heir. And Jimmy is back there. You see him over Roman's shoulder, and he's smiling, and he's pumping himself up for this big introduction. He's kind of nodding and going along with it. And all of a sudden, Roman says, "The next tribal chief, Jimmy, join me in congratulating your brother, Solo." And fucking Jimmy's face, and he just... And it falls, and now he's awkward, and he kind of steps back and mopes down. It was fucking classic. And as soon as Roman hugs Solo, that's the only information they've imparted. We're almost, we're 7-8 minutes deep in this thing. As a matter of fact, 9 minutes, because I've made a note. Roman hugs Solo, and Orton's music plays. And here comes Orton. And as he's coming down the aisle, they go to a break. They got breaks now in the goddamn interviews. So it's 3.5 minutes later, they come back from the break, and Orton is just stepping into the ring. And just, again, it's got to be awkward for the talent having to just come down there and then just stare at people or shake hands at the front row or what, Anyway. He gets in, and Orton does, and he's waited 18 months for this because the bloodline put him out. I can't even remember actually what the offense was that they committed to him. Can you?
I'm not exactly sure. That was when he was teaming up with Riddle, wasn't it? Because remember, Riddle was on TV for weeks that he missed his friend Randy.
Yes, and then we started missing. Well, actually, we didn't start missing.
We didn't
Riddle.
miss him.
He just went away. Yeah, we didn't miss him. Well, anyway, Roman Reigns, I'm coming for you, and I'm going to take everything away from you, and I'm going to go through your family to get to you. We've heard this before, but Randy does a great job of it, right? And he challenged Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed or Universe, whatever they're calling the real title these days, at the Royal Rumble. So we pretty much have to assume that's the main event, correct?
Other than the Royal Rumble match itself, it seems like it, yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, it's not going to be, I'm challenging you, and then they're going to do some fucking angle like Tony would that next week the guy gets hospitalized and his younger brother from across the fucking street takes his place. But anyway, but Roman, however, says, you don't deserve it. You can go to the back of the line. The voices in your head should be telling you to run away from me because I will retire you, right? And Orton said, "Well, Roman, you're a legend, but I'm a legend killer." And as Orton goes for the RKO, Reigns slips it and falls back on his ass with shock face. And Orton tells him start thinking about him now because the voices that he hears are telling him that daddy's back, which is apparently going to be a good catchphrase for young Orton. But it was great what they did, but it was also 20 minutes in by the time they just did this. But now again, even though, as I said, Reigns has not I didn't hear him officially accept or agree to anything or whatever the fuck, but you would have to think since they put that out there that's going to be the title match, right?
And he doesn't have to accept anything, and it goes down to Nick Aldis, I guess, to make the decision.
Well, yes, who's not afraid to step on some toes and keep on walking.
So I think that, it has to be the main event. And the only thing I don't like is I kind of think it's, I don't know, daddy's back or daddy's home, whatever the fuck he's saying. That doesn't resonate with me.
Daddy's home. Daddy's home.
To stay?
I think he is. At least for the rest of his contract. Daddy's home until his contract's up and then he's a free agent.
MLW WWE lawsuit has been settled. Now you wouldn't have to worry so much about real or fake claims of tampering if you wanted to expand the family and bring someone in. Seems, I mean, I always I've been saying it for a while. It feels like they need to add someone that would make sense. But I don't know who that would be.
I don't know what the holdup or drawback or whatever the fuck that they perceive is, if there is any now, with their reasons why they haven't before. But if the WWE and whoever their creative brain trust in does not attempt to or complete signing Jacob Fatu to be part of that fucking thing and unleash him while he still can do this stuff on the world, it's a goddamn crime. He's like the man in the iron mask. Here's this fucking insanely good fucking talent closed up at a goddamn bell tower somewhere and nobody can see him or fucking experience it. I don't get it. Unless he was with Jannetty down by the railroad tracks that day, I would think any other offense that he may have committed in his life would be goddamn negotiable at this point.
Well, it would be interesting because the offense he committed in his life prohibited, according to what I was told, and I believe the source I had knew what he was talking about, because of his criminal record, he wasn't hired by WWE. That was under a different ownership structure. You do have to wonder, I mean, not everyone in the UFC is a fucking angel.
I was about to say, they've had a few delinquents over there in that division, haven't they?
They have.
But again, this guy, this is in the past, and since he's been somewhat on the wrestling radar for at least the past 5 years or more, he and I've met the guy and talked to him. I believe if he was, in a position where he was earning money and being featured, that he could stay away from a life of crime, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
But he may get arrested with Liv Morgan for weed in the car.
You need to stay away from certain states, Jacob. Certain states you may still need to tread lightly, tiptoe through the tulips.
That's right, and have Stephen Pinu's card on you.
Yes, or just remember 87750-STEVE.
I'm not going to argue.
Anyway, can we continue on with SmackDown?
Please.